Hi there. A wild camp and a bit of Sheffield history today. If you look roughly where my finger is, look half a mile beyond into the tree line. Well, that was in fact the target area for the Totley Firing Range. That's half a mile over there. This area here was the 900-yard firing point. So if you went back to the early 1900s, you'd have Maxim machine guns set up here, probably half a dozen of them, and they'd be firing at targets half a mile away. Unbelievable, quite unbelievable. It must have been a fantastic sight to see with the machine guns rattling away. So what we're going to do today, I'm going to take you on a little tour. We're going to walk up the firing range. I'll tell you about the history of it and point out any interesting features that are still there. When we get up to the target area, the shelters which the target markers used are still there, a bit dilapidated, and also the big embankment that caught the bullets, or the majority of the bullets, that's still there. So I'll be able to show you those and we'll have a little look round. And then from there, we're going to head up onto the high moorlands, which you can probably make out, which are above the firing range, and they basically look down on it. Up there, we're going to wild camp tonight. Should be a great camp, it should. So follow me and come on my little tour. As we head down the road, you can see that little stone embankment. That is in fact the 700-yard firing point. Obviously it's just overgrown now and you can't see the target area, but that would have probably been lined with men with Bren guns firing into the target area. Somewhere further up there is the 800-yard firing point, but I couldn't find that. Well, this looks a boggy mess. Ugh. We've just entered the range at the 600-yard firing point, and this is the first indication you've got of what this area actually was. This is like a communication post. You could plug a telephone in here and then communicate with the target operators 600 yards up the range. So what we'll do now, we're going to head on up the range. You can get a better view of the range from here. The target area is in those trees up there, around 500 yards away. Now, Totley Firing Range opened on the 15th of September 1900. At that time, the weapon the British Army was using was the Enfield Mark 1 rifle. That's the one with the big 18-inch bayonet on, which would obviously be used for trench warfare. Now that Enfield Mark 1 basically had a killing range of 600 yards, but it would fire a bullet probably around 2,500 yards. So that is why this area was chosen, so that they'd got this vast area which they could close off. That moorland would be shut and it was a safe
and big enough area to operate those rifles and the machine guns and Bren guns we talked about earlier. So this was one of the main areas where the British Army regiments would have trained in preparation for the First World War. One of the main battalions that used this area was the Hallamshire Rifles. Now they fought at Ypres, Passchendaele and the Somme, and it's sad to say they actually lost, I think, around 50 officers and 1,400 men, and all those men would have trained on this site. It's terrifying to think I've two sons that are 23, 27, and I am so glad I didn't have to go through what the people did in the 1914-18 war. The worry that you'd have if your two sons were away at the front doesn't bear thinking about. So we'll make our way further up the range now. So this is the 100-yard firing point area. So we're not far off the actual target area and a big embankment, which is basically the bullet stop. I'll see you up there.
So these would be the early shelters built for the target markers and setters. As you can see, it's just a dry stone wall or a stone wall and earth built up against it, but it gave adequate protection. All the sort of targets and the mechanisms, that's all sort of decayed and gone, but you've still got benches and things like that. But I would think this was in use, I gather it was pre-World War One. I'm not 100% sure. But yeah, this is where they'd hoist the targets up and you'd have a Vickers machine gun half a mile away pounding the area with bullets. We'll head down that way and I'll take you to the more modern concrete shelters. So this is a more modern concrete shelter for the target markers. I'm not too sure when it was built, whether it was pre-Second World War or post, I'm not too sure. But as you can see, it's the same setup where the target markers would put the targets up and mark the targets as required. And you can also see it is an area where some of the locals practice their graffiti skills, and there are some amazing bits of graffiti here. I've been up here for many years and it does change, and I have some fantastic photographs of various types of graffiti. You could say, yeah, but they are probably people that are very artistic in a way to provide pictures like this just with a spray can. So from here, going to head up to the bullet stop now. That is a big embankment that catches all the bullets that go through the targets. Now this is a bullet backstop. basically where probably millions of rounds of ammunition went through the targets and were lodged in here. Now, previously I have had quite a few days up here metal detecting, so I've been all over this area with metal detector. I'll just show you just a few of the bits and pieces that I've found.
As you can see, quite a selection of bullets, mostly 303, but some 5mm and some bigger ones, don't know what they are, they're around 10mm. Most of the cartridge cases are blanks, so I dare say they did use the area for military exercises. You can see from this 303 cartridge, it's dated 1939, which a lot of the other cases are, so they probably originate from beginning of the Second World War.
Quite a interesting haul, but there must be thousands of bullets of all calibers in there. As for the range, through the interwar years it was used by various military groups. The build up to World War II, the Hallamshire Regiment were again here practicing, etc., preparing for World War II. They took part in many operations, including D-Day, Le Havre, Caen and Arnhem. So they were involved in a lot of the major European battles of the Second World War. But it carried on as like a private range, I think military come private, and then in 1997 it did close. One reason basically was people were getting outdoors more, and probably all this area moorland was shut off, and people weren't happy with that. So you could say the right to roam was part of the demise of Totley Firing Range. Well, that's my thoughts anyway, it's probably not. But yeah, so 1997 the range did close. But it's certainly an interesting place and so hidden away. I don't know if many people who even live locally know about this place, but it's worth a wander. I'd recommend it. So back to wild camping now. What we're going to do now, we're going to head up onto the moorlands. I've got to pick some water up, and then we'll go and find somewhere to pitch overlooking the shooting range. So I'll see you on the way up. See if I can find any bullets. Nah, I reckon somebody's been here before me. So just stopping here, collect some water. So I've got about 3 litres there, that should do me. I'll carry it up in that and then I'll filter it in camp where I've more time in a way. Make sure it's secure. So we're going to head up onto the moorland now, and I have wrecked it and I have a lovely little pitch where we can spend the night. I'll see you up at this little campsite. Beautiful it is.
A bit of a clamber up this, but worth it for this fantastic little pitch. It's nestling away in the heather, hidden from everybody, and a fantastic view over Sheffield and just looking down on the shooting range. It has clouded over a little bit, and I don't know what the weather's going to do. It could be showery, who knows. So I'm going to I'll show you a picture of the view before the weather turns any more, get the tent pitched, and then get all my gear moved inside, and then it can basically do what it wants. So I'll just show you the view. That's looking down on the western edges of Sheffield, which is basically Dore and Totley. And beyond that we have the city of Sheffield. Now, about bang in the centre of the picture, just after the heather, you'll see what is the green grass of the shooting range. So we're basically right above it. And then as we come round, it's just more of the western suburbs of the city. So I think it's time to get settled in the tent. I'm feeling a little bit peckish, and it is curry night tonight. So I thought we'd better make a start with this curry while we've got the daylight. Gotta have a few poppadoms, haven't you? So I've got poppadoms, like an onion, cucumber, mint relish, and if I can get it up, a bit of mango chutney. So definitely got that nice taste to it. I know a bottle of Kingfisher, a Cobra ale or lager would have gone down nice, but it is supposed to be lightweight camping. If I bring a couple of bottles of them up, it defeats the object of paying a load of money out for lightweight gear. So we'll just stick with the food, I think, tonight. The curry I'm going to prepare in a bit. It's one of my dehydrated meals. It's a chicken korma with just simple boiled rice. But that, I prepared that, well, I actually made it about 3 months ago. Weighs about, I think it's about 300 grams of food there. But once I've added 700 millilitres of water and rehydrated it, that's going to give me a kilogram of food. So definitely a great lightweight option when you're camping. Oh, these do taste so nice. So I'll see how I go with the poppadoms, and then we'll get the curry on the go and get that rehydrated. Just starting to prepare the chicken korma. As part of the rehydration process, you boil the rehydrated meal for about a minute and then put it in a pot cozy and leave it to fully rehydrate for about another 15 minutes. As you can see,
we've got a new Windmaster Soto stove and a new Sea to Summit pot, 1300 milliliter pot. We have been spending some money. Just enjoying my chicken korma. I may have got too much here. I've got nearly a kilogram of food. Anyway, see how we go. I actually made this, like I say, about 3 months ago, and this portion will have 200 grams of tinned chicken, a jar of that is it Patak's korma sauce, and boiled rice. So it was very easy to make, and it certainly gave a filling meal. I'll get on with this, and then you want to see what we've got for a sweet. So pleased to say my sweet is ready, and we're going for that favourite found in curry houses all over the world, treacle sponge and custard. Well, I wasn't really sure what to have, so I thought, yeah, treacle sponge and custard, just perfect. I just got rid of that unsightly branch in the picture. Can't beat a bit of treacle, sponge and custard, especially if you've got a sweet tooth. I don't think we've too much daylight left, so I'm going to get this, get everything finished. Might have a drink and then settle down, and I'll have a word with you when everything's sorted out, and we'll have a little chat and that. Right, that's tea all finished, all cleared up, and I'm settled down for the night, all wrapped up in my enlightened revelation quilt. Yes, I've gone for a quilt. It's only taken me a year to sort it out. I spoke about this last year, but I decided, yeah, to reduce my pike weight and try something new. I'd go for a quilt. Like I say, you can see some of the new gear, so I'm mentioning it, but I'll tell you more about it on another video. I haven't really time on this video to go into it. Now, I know I've not done many wild camps recently. I sort of got a little bit bored doing them. It was the same routine of walking somewhere, camping, cooking a meal, having a chat, bit of photography and coming back. And I wanted to alter that or do something a little bit different. So I went off on my one-day trips to Europe and a bit of car camping. It gave me something different to do. I can quite often go off on a tangent and do something different. I once went exploring underground drains and abandoned railway tunnels for probably an 18-month period. New photography and filming challenges, and really enjoyed it. But I did see sense, and I did come back to wild camping eventually. So yeah, I've done these European trips. I still will do them, but not in the summer because they cost too much. But probably autumn, winter, get back into them. But they'll be in the background. It's something I do. I might put the odd short on, but I ain't gonna include them in my videos really. I intend concentrating on wild camping for the foreseeable future. A few other reasons why I've returned to wild camping. Well, the European trips were good and I enjoy them, but they ain't challenging. Anybody can go and get on a plane, fly somewhere,
drink a lot of beer and then fly back. There's not a lot of difficulty or challenge there, while climbing up the northern edge of Kinder Scout or wild camping in the snow, that is challenging. So I miss the challenge of the wild camping. And another thing, doing the YouTube videos on wild camping does actually keep you fit. If you know you're going to be camping on Kinder, you make sure you're fit, and you've got to be going out walking a decent mileage, carrying a pack each week, and build your fitness up, or you're going to struggle. So I found my fitness was dropping off a bit because I hadn't got the reason or the incentive to go and do these long walks, as I was going to sit on a plane and fly somewhere. So that was another reason for returning to wild camping, to get myself a little bit fitter. There's still lots of places I want to explore and wild camp, like I say, like Bleaklow and these more remote places, but I've got to be fit and I've got to have lighter gear. So you can see how I'm setting me plan out a little bit, get fitter and lighten some of my older backpacking gear, and then I can get to these remote places and do some different wild camps. And another little reason why I haven't been out, especially this year, I hurt my Achilles tendon. I don't fully know how I did it. I think I did it jumping over a river with a pack on my back. Never actually knew I'd done it, but it got worse and worse. And that was way back, I think it was the end of January. And it's not quite right yet. It's taken 12 weeks. I've had physio, acupuncture, and it is probably about 90% okay now. I can walk a decent mileage, don't really have any problems. But you want to see me in the morning when I come downstairs. I look like an old man hobbling downstairs. Well, perhaps I am an old man hobbling downstairs, but yeah, it does feel a bit stiff and hurt in the morning. Once I get going, I am okay. So the good thing that's come out of that is it's made me realise I've got to be more careful. I can't go jumping across rivers and stuff like that. You can injure yourself and it's going to put you out of action for months possibly, so there'll be no wild camping then. So I realise, yeah, I've got to be a bit more sensible and look after myself a little bit more. As for my future video plans for this coming year, yeah, it will be wild camping. I still have the same old problem as I always have. The calendar in our house fills up very quick and I have trouble getting my 2 days away on a camp actually on the calendar, or if something crops up I'm the first one to get shunted off. So yeah, hopefully I'll be able to get out each month. How people go camping every week and put a video on, I just don't know. But yeah, I will try and keep a regular supply of videos coming in, probably one a month, something like that. I still like to camp up at my local area, what I call Ringinglow and Hounkirk. I've got various little pitches up there that some are quite secluded, and I still enjoy camping up there, but I'd like to venture a bit further afield, like I say, up Derwent, out onto Bleaklow, places I've never really been before, and of course Kinder Scout. I'm sure we'll get a couple of camps up on Kinder. I mean, today's camp has been interesting. Today's video's been interesting because it's combined a bit of an explore and a camp, so it was a little bit different. I first came to this shooting range probably about 4 or 5 years ago. I came across it and then I found this little booklet. I bought this on eBay. It's called, if I get it right, A Short History of the Rifle Range at Totley, Sheffield,
It's by Stephen Johnson. Now I was looking at it the other days, obviously refreshing me information on it when I was going to do the video, and I opened it up and it says inside, I bought it on eBay, this. It says, Barnsley Libraries, reference only. Please leave on the table after use. So it would appear it might belong to Barnsley Library, but I bought it on eBay. I did have a look. I hope it's not overdue. Christ. Anyway, I did have a look to see if I could see it, and I couldn't see it available anywhere, but you never know, you might find it. It tells you all about the rifle range. It's got a lot of pictures in it from the 1900s and more, lots of maps. I would have liked to use some of that information, but I was a bit worried about copyright, so I erred on the cautious side. I didn't put anything on. But yeah, it's a useful little book. You never know, you might find it in a library somewhere, but perhaps not Barnsley. I don't think they've got a copy. Anyway, yeah, very useful book, and it made today a lot more interesting because I learnt a lot. I managed to find out a lot more about the shooting range, which obviously I could use in the video. So I think I've nearly done for tonight. I want to make myself a cup of hot chocolate and settle down for the night soon. Before I go to sleep, we'll have a look outside and see what we can see of the lights of Sheffield. I had a little look not long ago, and it's as if there's some low clouds, so it's not fantastic. But we'll have a little look, see what we can see, and after that, I'm going to go to sleep, hopefully, in my new quilt and try it out, and I'll see you in the morning. But we'll look outside first. So that's looking down on the sort of western suburbs of Sheffield, mainly Door and Totley. It's not as clear as I'd have liked. It should have been able to see all the city, but there does seem to be some low-lying cloud. But you can see all the lights twinkling. Anyway, I'm going to settle down now, get that drink, and hopefully have a good night's sleep. So I'll see you in the morning. Night then. Good morning. And it is a nice morning. The wind's dropped. It's warm and it's dry. It's a long time since I've been able to sit outside to have my breakfast. Although it is a little bit cloudy and misty over Sheffield. They're lovely, these little camping spots. If you take all this sort of moorland overlooking Sheffield right over to Ringinglow, what I tend to do, I'll go out for half a day, I've no heavy rucksack on my back, and I just mooch about, walking around the sort of the high spots, looking for little locations like this. You don't want to arrive here with a heavy rucksack and then start trying to find a camping area. It's nice to know you've found a great little pitch. So all this area, I must have walked all of it, and I've so many of these little locations. They're not big. You can just get a small tent with a small footprint or a bivvy bag in there, but you're so hidden away, and with them being on the sort of high moorland overlooking Sheffield, you've fantastic views day and night. So just a cup of coffee. I've got some porridge on the go down there. I'll be having that soon. And then just a matter of packing up. I'm in no rush. I can spend an hour having my breakfast. I've nothing to rush back for. So I'll see you in a little bit. Right, that's everything packed up and time for me to do my long walk away. Hope you enjoyed the wander round the shooting range, just something a little bit different, and I bet there is loads of people don't even know that place existed, never mind its history. Now, May, as usual, is a very busy month. Holidays, birthday, another one, and Barrow Hill Beer Festival. So we'll be very busy through May, but I will be back in June. I'm intend doing another local camp, and hopefully I'll have got most of my new gear sorted then. So we'll do a little bit of cooking, and we'll have a look at some of my new gear, and I can chat to you in a bit more detail about it. So thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you in June. Bye then.